5 phrases. That's all you need to repeat every day to start changing your life. Let me ask you something. How many times has your own mind sabotaged you with thoughts like, I'm not enough, or I can't make it? The truth is, what you repeat, you create. Your words become beliefs, and your beliefs shape your destiny. If you repeat fear, you will live with limits. But if you repeat power, confidence, and action, your life will transform, because your mind doesn't distinguish between reality and what you affirm with conviction. It accepts it, believes it, and acts on it. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 simple yet powerful daily affirmations that will reprogram your mind and unlock your true potential. The thoughts of a human being, yours and mine, are the most powerful force in the entire universe. They are the creative energy that shapes your world, your future, and your success. Your mind is not just a receiver of information, it is a transmitter and a generator. Whatever you plant in it, whether positive or negative, are seeds that will bloom into the circumstances of your life. Affirmations are not empty words. They are commands, direct instructions you give to the most powerful supercomputer in the world, your subconscious mind. Years ago, when I was young and had nothing but ambition, I went through a very difficult time. My income was scarce, my personal life was a mess, and my confidence was at its lowest point. I read every self-help book I could find. I attended every seminar available, but something was missing. I couldn't get the concepts to stick in my mind. My conscious mind understood the theory, but my subconscious, the part that controls my actions and attracts my results, was still operating on old programs of fear and scarcity. I felt trapped in a cycle. One day, a mentor told me something that changed my life forever. Brian, you cannot convince your subconscious mind with logic. You can only program it through repetition and emotion. That was my first great breakthrough. I realized affirmations were not some magic trick, but a mental programming technique, a practical application of the law of belief. Whatever you deeply believe with conviction will become your reality. If you truly believe you are prosperous and capable, your mind will begin searching for and creating opportunities to prove that belief true. It will act as if you already are. But if you believe you are unlucky or incapable, your mind will make sure your reality reflects that belief. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner world. The first thing to understand is that your subconscious mind does not distinguish between reality and imagination. For it, an intense, vivid, and repeated thought is as real as a physical experience. When you affirm something, you are planting it as truth inside your subconscious through constant repetition and emotional intensity. That seed grows into a deeply rooted belief. And once a belief is planted, your subconscious will work tirelessly to turn it into your lived experience. This is a universal principle, as certain as gravity itself. To make this process work, we must start with the foundation. The most important affirmation is not about wealth, success, or health. It's about yourself. It's the cornerstone on which all other affirmations are built. You can't build an empire on unstable ground. Affirmation number 1, the one you must recite with conviction every single day, is this. It is the anchor of your self-esteem and your confidence. Why is it so important? Because the quality of your life will never exceed the quality of your self-image. You cannot achieve great things if you don't believe you deserve them. You cannot succeed if you see yourself as a failure. You cannot attract prosperity if you feel inferior or unworthy. The foundation of all positive mental programming is self-love and self-acceptance. I remember a moment in my career as a salesperson. I had read about the importance of self-acceptance, but I wasn't practicing it. My mind kept telling me I was an imposter, that I didn't have what it took to be successful. My results showed it. I was struggling to close sales and my bank account was empty. That was when I decided to run an experiment. For 30 days, every morning and every night, I stood in front of the mirror and looked myself straight in the eyes. I didn't like what I saw, but even so, with a firm voice, I repeated over and over, I like myself, I truly like myself. At first it felt silly. My mind shouted that it was a lie, but I kept going every single day. After 2 weeks, I noticed a small shift. In a meeting, I felt less anxious. My voice sounded steadier. By the 3rd week, I caught myself looking a client straight in the eyes with total confidence, something I had never done before. I realized my worth didn't depend on whether I made a sale. It depended on who I was as a person. That month, I closed more sales than in the previous 3 months combined. It wasn't a coincidence. It was the direct result of reprogramming my subconscious mind with the most powerful affirmation of all, self-appreciation. So how can you make this work for you? It's not enough to simply say the words. There's a technique, a strategy that maximizes their effectiveness. First principle, the affirmation must be in the present tense. Always speak as if what you're affirming is already a reality. Don't say I'm going to be or I hope to. Say I am, I have. For your mind, the future doesn't exist. Only the present exists, and you must program it with the reality you want right now. Instead of saying I hope I'll like myself, say I like myself. Second principle, the affirmation must be positive and clear. Your mind doesn't process negatives. If you say I won't fail, your mind only hears fail. Instead say I am a success. The affirmation must be a positive declaration of what you want, not a denial of what you don't want. Be specific and clear with your words. Third principle, inject emotion. This is the secret ingredient, the spark that ignites the engine of manifestation. Words alone have limited power, but when you charge them with emotion, they become irresistible to your subconscious mind. Feel the joy, the peace, and the confidence that come from already liking yourself. Smile as you say it. Feel the lightness in your shoulders. Emotion is the language of your subconscious. Fourth principle, repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill and the father of learning. You must repeat your affirmation 10 to 20 times a day without fail. The best way is to do it twice a day, once in the morning as soon as you wake up and again at night before going to bed. These are the windows of time when your subconscious is most receptive to new information. Make it a habit like brushing your teeth. Now here are the practical steps you should start following today. The mirror ritual. Find a mirror. It can be the one in your bathroom or a small one in your office. Look yourself in the eyes. Connect with the person you see reflected there. Say the affirmation. Say it out loud with conviction and a smile. I like myself. I appreciate and respect myself just as I am. Feel the emotion. Close your eyes for a moment and sense how it would feel if that affirmation were the deepest truth of your being. Repeat it. Do this every morning and every night for at least 21 days. 21 days is the time it takes to form a new mental habit. Many of my students have asked me if it's possible for affirmations not to work. My answer is always the same. Affirmations cannot not work. If you don't see results, it's because you're not applying the technique correctly. It's like trying to start a car without fuel. The engine is fine, but it lacks the fuel it needs. The fuel of affirmation is emotion and repetition. This is a fundamental principle. Self-acceptance is the first step toward greatness. You can't achieve goals that rise above your self-image. This affirmation won't just give you confidence, it will also provide the foundation for internalizing the affirmations that come next. It's the key that will unlock the doors to your unlimited potential. Your mind is a garden. If you don't plant flowers, weeds will grow. Affirmations are your most powerful seeds. This is the starting point, the planting of the seed of self-acceptance, the foundation for everything that follows. In the next part, I'll reveal the second affirmation, one that will allow you to take complete control of your time and energy. Success is never accidental, it's the result of conscious mental programming and consistent effort. Start today with this first affirmation and get ready to see what your mind can do for you. In our previous section, we talked about the most fundamental affirmation of all, I like myself. We saw how self-acceptance is the anchor, the base upon which everything else is built. Once you see yourself as a person of value, worthy of success, the next question is, what will you do with that potential? It's useless to have unshakable confidence if that confidence doesn't translate into concrete actions. It's useless to know what you want if you don't get up every morning with a clear plan and an unbreakable determination to achieve it. Success is not a coincidence, it's a deliberate act. The affirmation I want to share with you now is the affirmation of unstoppable action, the engine that will drive all your dreams into reality. This is one of the affirmations that has had the greatest impact on my own career and on the lives of thousands of my students. I am a person of action. I use my time effectively and productively. Every minute I invest in my goals brings me closer to my ideal future. This affirmation is a powerful antidote to procrastination, indecision, and inertia. It's a constant reminder that your time is your most valuable asset, a non-renewable resource. When you affirm that you are a person of action, your subconscious mind begins to look for opportunities to prove it true. You'll feel driven to take steps, to cross things off your list, to move forward instead of staying stuck in tomorrow. Your subconscious hates inconsistencies. If you tell it you're someone who takes action, it will make sure your actions match that belief. I remember when I was a young salesperson trying to make a name for myself. My task list was endless: calls, follow-ups, prospects, paperwork, and an endless number of other things. I felt overwhelmed, and most of my days ended with the sense that I hadn't achieved anything meaningful, even after working 12 or 14 hours. What I didn't realize at that moment was that I was confusing being busy with being productive. One day I sat down with my mentor, and he asked me, "What's the one thing that, if you do it, will make everything else easier or unnecessary?"
I sat in silence, thinking. I realized I was spending most of my time doing low-value tasks, like organizing my desk or reading emails that weren't urgent, avoiding the one task that would actually make me money, making the important sales call that terrified me. That's when my mentor introduced me to the idea of focused action. He had me write on a card, "I am a person oriented to action," and challenged me not only to repeat it in my mind, but to back it up with an action. The next day, my first task was to make that sales call I'd been putting off for a week. I did it with fear and trembling, but I did it, and I closed the sale. It was a turning point.
That small act of faith in my affirmation and in myself proved to me that success wasn't a matter of luck, but of discipline and strategic action. From that day on, my mantra became the most important thing. First, there's nothing that builds your confidence like completing a task that once seemed impossible. Now, if this kind of knowledge resonates with you and you want to keep transforming your life, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. Join our community of achievers and get ready for an unprecedented journey of personal growth. Let's continue. For your action affirmation to take root, we need to understand two fundamental principles. The first principle is the law of diminishing returns. This principle teaches us that not all actions have the same value. You can work 14 hours a day, but if you're focused on trivial tasks, the return on your effort will be minimal. Your energy and attention are limited. Investing them wisely is the key to real productivity. The quality of your effort is always more important than the quantity. The second principle is the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. This principle, discovered by economist Vilfredo Pareto, establishes that in many situations, 80% of the results come from 20% of the causes. In your professional life, it means that 80% of your results, your success, your income, come from just 20% of your activities. Most people focus on the 80% of tasks that produce only 20% of the results. Your job is to identify that 20% of high-value activities and dedicate your time and energy to them. That's real productivity. Combining your affirmation with these principles creates an unstoppable system. The affirmation programs your mind to act, and the principles give you the right direction so your actions become highly effective. It's the difference between a hammer striking at random and one hitting the nail squarely. Now, let me share a unique technique I've developed that has been a game changer for my students, combining everything we've talked about. Immediate action exercise, the critical single task method. The night before going to bed, take a piece of paper or open your notes app, write your task list for the next day. Identify the single critical task from that list. Ask yourself, what is the one task that if I complete it tomorrow, will have the greatest impact on my long-term goals? Or what is the hardest task, the one that if I do it first, will make everything else easier? Mark that task with an asterisk or highlight it. Affirm the next morning. As soon as you wake up, repeat your affirmation out loud. I am a person oriented to action. I use my time effectively and productively. Eat that frog, and here's the frog. This is one of my favorite phrases from Mark Twain. He said, if you eat a live frog first thing in the morning, you know the worst thing that can happen to you that day is already behind you. Your frog is your single critical task. As soon as you start your day, before checking email, before social media, before even having a cup of coffee, focus and complete that task. Don't allow yourself to get distracted. Enjoy the victory. Once the single critical task is done, you'll feel a surge of energy and confidence. The rest of the day will be much easier, and you'll be operating with positive momentum. Success is not the result of doing a million things at once. It's the result of doing the right thing at the right moment. Your mind is already programmed with self-esteem. The next step is to program it with strategic action. Start today with this affirmation and this simple exercise. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the third affirmation, the one that will give you the power of visualization and the creation of your ideal reality. In the previous chapters, we planted the two most important seeds for lasting success. First, the seed of self-acceptance. I like myself because you can't achieve anything if you don't believe you deserve it. Then the seed of strategic action. I am a person oriented to action, because faith without works is sterile. But there's a third ingredient as crucial as the first two, the bridge between potential and reality. It's the force that magnetizes your dreams and brings them from the realm of thought into the realm of form. I'm talking about the power of visualization. What you see in your mind with enough clarity, you will soon hold in your hands. Your subconscious mind is a blind but obedient servant. It doesn't argue, it doesn't question, it doesn't say you can't. It simply receives orders and carries them out. And its primary language, the language you speak to it most strongly, is not words, but mental images. The affirmation I want you to anchor in your mind today is the one that will give you the power to manifest your deepest desires. I see my ideal future clearly, and my mind works without rest to turn this vision into reality. My life is a work of art that I'm painting with my imagination. This affirmation is the key to unlocking your creative mind and aligning your subconscious with your goals. When you do this, you're sending a clear order to your brain. This is what I want. This is what I'm building. Your brain, that powerful biological computer, will immediately start looking for opportunities and people aligned with the image you've created. It's a manifestation of the law of correspondence, which tells us that your outer world corresponds to your inner world. To change your outer world, you must first change the inner one, and the most powerful tool to do so is visualization. Many years ago, when my career was just beginning to take off, I had a vision of buying a big house on a hill. I didn't have the money, the credit, or even a realistic plan to make it happen, but I had a clear picture in my mind. I remember sitting in my car one day, looking up at a house I loved on top of a hill. I closed my eyes and imagined driving up the driveway, parking my car in the garage. I visualized the interior, the smell, the feel of the carpets, the view from the windows. It wasn't just a visualization. I turned it into a complete emotional experience. I felt the joy, pride, and peace of being the owner of that house. I did this every day for several months. Meanwhile, my subconscious mind, programmed with that vision, began to work. It pushed me to work harder, to look for more opportunities, to improve my sales skills. I started to find ideas in unexpected places. An article in a magazine about real estate investing, advice from a colleague about a new sales strategy. A year later, not only had I moved into that house, but I also bought the adjacent land to build my own mansion. It wasn't magic, it was the manifestation of a universal principle. Visualization created a clear goal in my subconscious, and my subconscious guided me through the necessary actions to make it a reality. For visualization to work, it can't be a blurry picture or a vague idea. Your mind needs a clear, precise order. Think of it as giving a taxi driver directions. You wouldn't say, "Take me to a nice house." You'd give the exact address. Visualization works the same way. The first principle is absolute clarity. Visualization is the process of creating such a vivid, detailed mental image of your goal that it feels as if you've already achieved it. Use all your senses. How would your ideal life look? What sounds would you hear? What would your house or new office smell like? How would it feel to the touch? The more detailed your vision, the more powerful the signal you send to your subconscious mind. The second principle is that emotion is the fuel. Mental images alone are like a car without gas. For your visualization to have power, you must inject a strong emotional charge. Feel the excitement of achievement. Feel the joy, pride, or gratitude. This emotion is what energizes the image, what gives it its magnetic pull. Your subconscious mind is an emotional engine and responds to feelings, not just thoughts. The third principle is constant repetition. Visualization isn't a one-time event. It's a habit, a daily practice. You must visualize your goal every day without fail, ideally in the morning and at night. Constant repetition strengthens new neural connections in your brain, making the image of your success the dominant belief. Now I'll share one of the most powerful techniques I've taught my students, which combines visualization with writing, and has produced miraculous results. The immediate action exercise. Your ideal future script. Write the date 1 year from today. For example, January 1st of next year. Write out your ideal life as if it were already a reality. Write in the present tense, with complete detail. I wake up every morning feeling full of energy and enthusiasm in my beautiful home overlooking the sea. My passive income is $10,000 a month, and my business helps thousands of people. I travel at least once a month to exotic places. My relationship with my family is loving and supportive. I feel healthy, strong, and vibrant. Visualize your movie. Read your script every morning and evening, and then close your eyes. Picture every scene from that script, as if it were a high-definition movie playing in your mind. Feel the emotion. As you visualize, let yourself experience the joy, peace, and gratitude for each of your achievements. Feel as if you're already living that life, as if you've already reached those goals. Emotion is the engine. Keep your script, store it somewhere safe and visible, so you can return to it easily. Don't worry about the how. Your job isn't to figure out every step of the path. Your job is to see the destination clearly enough, and your subconscious mind will reveal the way. This simple exercise, practiced with discipline, will reprogram your subconscious so that your outer reality reflects your inner vision. Visualization is a mental muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. There is no success without a clear vision. You can't build a building without blueprints, and you can't create the life of your dreams without a clear picture of what that life looks like. Start today painting your masterpiece. In the next chapter, I'll reveal the fourth affirmation, one that will give you the power of gratitude and abundance. On our journey to transform the mind, we've covered 3 fundamental pillars. First, self-acceptance, the foundation on which everything else is built. Then strategic action, the engine that turns potential into results. And finally, creative visualization, the map that guides your subconscious toward your ideal destiny. Today we're going to add the most powerful and transformative element of all. It's the force that multiplies your efforts, magnetizes opportunities, and turns what you already have into a source of joy and prosperity. I'm talking about the power of gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a passive feeling. It's not merely saying thank you. Gratitude is a state of mind, a daily discipline that reprograms your brain to attract more of what you value. It's a switch that changes your frequency, moving you from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance. When you're in a state of gratitude, you cannot be in a state of fear, resentment, or lack. Those two frequencies cannot coexist. The affirmation I want you to anchor in your mind and heart today is the key to unlocking a constant flow of blessings in your life. I am infinitely grateful for everything I have in my life, and gratitude opens the doors to even greater abundance. Everyday blessings flow to me effortlessly. This affirmation is a powerful reminder that gratitude is the currency of the universe. What you value grows. What you appreciate multiplies. Your subconscious mind is like a greenhouse. If you plant seeds of complaint and lack, that's exactly what will grow. But if you plant seeds of gratitude and appreciation, your garden will bloom with abundance in every area of your life. It's a manifestation of the law of attraction in its purest, most effective form. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And when your mind becomes a magnet for gratitude, your reality becomes a magnet for abundance. Many years ago, in my early days as a speaker and consultant, my business was stagnant. I had the ideas and the passion, but not the results. My income barely covered my expenses, and every day I woke up with a sense of anxiety and pressure. I felt like an imposter. I was so focused on what I didn't have, on the goals I hadn't achieved, on the opportunities I thought I'd lost, that my mind couldn't see the blessings that were already present. One day an old friend and mentor stopped me. "Brian," he said, "you can't build a prosperous future if you're living in a present of lack. You have to start by being grateful for what you have right now." It seemed too simple, almost ridiculous. But I trusted him. He challenged me to keep a gratitude journal. For a week, every night before bed, I forced myself to write down 10 things I was genuinely grateful for. At first it was difficult. My mind told me there was nothing to be thankful for, but I kept searching: my health, a roof over my head, a plate of food on my table, a friend who had called me. By the third night I noticed my anxiety lessening. By the fifth I started actively looking for things to be grateful for. During the day, my eyes opened to the small blessings I had been ignoring. After a week, my mindset had completely changed. I was happier, more at peace. 2 weeks later, a call I had made a month earlier, which I thought was lost, turned into my first significant consulting contract. 3 months later, my business income had doubled. It wasn't a coincidence. It was the direct result of shifting my focus from lack to gratitude. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the door to prosperity. For your gratitude affirmation to be powerful, you must understand the principles that govern it. The first principle is the principle of harvest. Nature operates on a simple rule. You reap what you sow. If you plant seeds of gratitude, you'll reap blessings. If you sow complaint, you'll reap more reasons to complain. Gratitude activates this principle in your favor, ensuring that both your mind and the universe return more of what you value. It's an investment with the highest possible return. The second principle is the law of the vacuum. This law states that nature abhors a vacuum. When you let go of something old, you create space for something new. In the same way, when you clear your mind of complaint and worry, you fill it with gratitude. And as you do this, you create a mental space that will be filled with more things to be grateful for. Gratitude is the process of emptying the negative to make room for the positive. Principle 3. Gratitude, the master key. Gratitude not only attracts abundance, but also transforms your perception. Gratitude lets you see that you already have everything you need to begin. Gratitude gives you a perspective of abundance. Even when things are difficult, that perspective gives you the strength to persevere and find solutions. It's the difference between seeing an obstacle and seeing an opportunity. Now I'm going to share one of the most effective techniques I've developed to anchor the habit of gratitude. It's a simple exercise, yet it has changed the lives of thousands of my students. Immediate action exercise, the 60-second gratitude meditation. In the morning, as soon as you wake up and before getting out of bed, close your eyes and think of 3 specific things in your life that you're deeply grateful for right now. It could be something as simple as the bed you sleep in, your family's health, or the sun shining through your window. Feel gratitude in your body. Visualize the sense of peace and appreciation filling you. At night, before you go to sleep, take a journal or notebook, write down 3 specific things that happened that day. Be detailed. Don't just write, "I'm grateful for my family." Write, "I'm grateful for my son's laughter when he told a joke tonight," or "I'm grateful for that phone call that gave me a business idea." This trains your mind to actively search for the good in your daily life. Throughout the day, look for opportunities to express gratitude to others. A simple thank you spoken with sincerity can change the energy of a room. Say thank you to the bus driver, to the cashier at the supermarket, to your colleague. This not only uplifts others, but also reinforces your own state of gratitude. This simple exercise, practiced with discipline, will reprogram your mind to focus on abundance instead of lack. Gratitude is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And as your capacity to attract abundance strengthens, it expands. Success isn't about what you have, it's about who you are. And when you become a person of gratitude, you become a person of success. Begin your journey toward a life of abundance today. It starts with a grateful heart. In the next chapter, I'll reveal the 5th affirmation, one that will give you the power of discipline and consistency, the true secret to turning dreams into reality. Chapter 5. The ultimate action plan that changes everything. On this extraordinary journey, we've planted the seeds of your future success. We've anchored self-acceptance, the foundation of every achievement. We've ignited the engine of strategic action that propels you forward. We've drawn the map of your destiny through visualization, and we've nourished abundance through gratitude. But the truth is that a seed, no matter how powerful, won't grow without water, sunlight, and consistent care. A map won't take you to your destination without steady steps in the right direction, and a great vision won't manifest without unshakable discipline. Today we're going to unveil the most crucial affirmation of all. It's the glue that holds everything together, the catalyst that turns intentions into results. It's the key to personal mastery. Most people have big ideas, big dreams, and big plans. But what separates dreamers from doers isn't intelligence, luck, or even passion. It's discipline, consistency, the ability to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, no matter how you feel. It's the habit of self-discipline. This affirmation won't just give you the power of consistency, it will anchor you to the person you're meant to be. Affirmation number 5. I am a person of unshakable discipline, and every day I take consistent steps toward my ideal future. My consistency is the magnet of my success. This affirmation is the culmination of all our work. It gives your subconscious mind the command to become a person of disciplined action. Remember, your subconscious is a blind servant. When you give it a clear and consistent order, it will carry it out unfailingly. When you affirm, I am a person of unshakable discipline, your mind will begin to look for ways to make that affirmation true. You'll feel compelled to take the steps that bring you closer to your goals, even when the initial motivation has faded. This is the true secret of long-term success. Success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, and discipline is the ability to run every day, regardless of the weather or fatigue. When I was young, and going through a particularly difficult time in my life, I wasn't just homeless and working in a mill. I was surrounded by people who had the same talent and opportunities I did, but who constantly complained about their bad luck. My mentor, a self-made man, told me something that changed my life forever. Brian, he said, talent is a gift, but discipline is a choice, and discipline will always beat talent when talent isn't disciplined. He challenged me to choose one thing in my life to be absolutely consistent about. I chose reading. I set a goal to read at least 1 hour every day on personal development and business without fail. Some days I was tired, other days I didn't feel like it. But the affirmation I had made to myself, I am a person of unshakable discipline, kept me on track. A year later, I had read more than 50 books and my knowledge had expanded exponentially. It wasn't just the knowledge that changed my life, it was the belief in myself, the proof that I was capable of setting a goal and following it through to the end. That small victory became the foundation for all my later successes. Consistency is the bridge between intention and reality. For your discipline to become second nature, you must understand the principles that govern it. It isn't a mysterious quality that some people have and others don't. It's a muscle that can be developed and strengthened. Principle 1, the law of cumulative habit. This law states that small, consistent steps add up over time to create massive change. A step toward your goal today may seem insignificant, but repeating that step over 30 or 365 days will take you to an entirely different place. Discipline isn't about making superhuman efforts, it's about making a human, steady effort every day. Principle 2, the law of massive action. It sounds contradictory, doesn't it? But the law of massive action isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter and with greater intention. Once you've built the habit of consistency, the law of cumulative habit takes care of steady growth, while the law of massive action handles the sprints of high performance. When you have the discipline to choose when and where to apply maximum effort for maximum results, knowing your daily consistency will support you, you gain control over your energy, allowing you to be more effective, not just busier. Principle 3, the law of success inertia. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Success generates success. Once you build the momentum of discipline, it becomes easier to stay disciplined. The initial resistance you feel is the friction of starting. Once you're moving, the force of inertia will carry you forward. Every time you keep a promise you make to yourself, your self-confidence grows, your self-discipline strengthens, and your success momentum accelerates. Now, to consolidate everything we've learned, I'm going to give you the ultimate action plan, an exercise that ties the 5 affirmations into a lifelong daily ritual. This is the most powerful exercise I can give you. Final exercise, the daily transformation ritual. Morning affirmation, 5 minutes. As soon as you wake up, before looking at your phone or any other distraction, stand up, look in a mirror and say the 5 affirmations we've learned. Say each one with conviction. I like myself. I am a person oriented toward action. I see my ideal future clearly, and my mind works tirelessly to turn this vision into reality. I am infinitely grateful for everything I have in my life. I am a person of unshakable discipline, and every day I take consistent steps toward my ideal future. Creative visualization, 3 minutes. After the affirmations, close your eyes and visualize your ideal future as if it were already a reality. Feel the emotion of living that life. Don't just see the images, feel them. Planning and strategic action, 10 minutes. Now that your mind is prepared, take a notebook, write your main goal at the top. Below it, write the 3 most important tasks you can complete today to bring you closer to that goal. Then schedule the first task, and don't start your day until it's done. This is strategic action. The gratitude journal, 5 minutes. At the end of your day, before going to bed, take your gratitude journal. Write down at least 3 specific things that happened that day for which you're grateful. This trains your mind to see the positive and reinforces the cycle of abundance. When practiced daily, this ritual ties together all the pieces of the puzzle. Self-acceptance gives you the power to start. Strategic action keeps you moving. Visualization gives you direction. Gratitude opens the doors to abundance. And discipline keeps everything together, turning your dreams into a tangible reality. It's an action plan you cannot fail if you don't give up on it. Success isn't an accident. It's the sum of small efforts repeated day after day. Your life, your future, is in your hands. You have the power to transform your mind, and by doing so, transform your world. Start today, not tomorrow. The life of your dreams isn't waiting. It's being created one step at a time, one affirmation at a time, one moment of discipline at a time. The future is waiting for you. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and join me on this journey of growth, awareness, and inner strength. Here we don't just talk to fill minutes. Here we awaken. Here we become stronger, wiser, and more selective. And if you're also on that path, this space is for you. Leave me a comment telling me which of these 5 affirmations resonated with you the most, and share this video with someone you feel might need it.